Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny.
What's up,
Johnny? Johnny will be in Dallas. Funny thing.
Because he lives in Dallas.
I was going to say, what are the odds? I know, right? So excited about that.
No kidding.
Good evening and welcome back to the show, guys. It was a great week off. Did you have a spectacular time?
A spectacular time.
You spent the whole time away from home?
Oh, yes.
Doing fun things with the fam?
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Mr.
Bill Freeman.
What's up, Mr. Bill?
Here from Wesley Chapel. So one of the guys sent me, sorry, my water bottle's creaking over here. One of the guys sent me a link to a video that somebody filmed of the Rockford band.
Yeah, okay.
And of course, Bill was there giving the demo, and even Mike Eckley even made a small appearance there, opening the door for him.
Okay.
Because he was like, how come you got, he was Brian Chance, one of the guys from the news. He was like, you guys need to film this. We're like, yeah, we've been meaning to. We just haven't lined up to do it.
Yeah.
So I think what I need to do is just like get Bill to wake up early one morning and just, if it's at the warehouse, just like drive down.
The whole.
Well, no, just go down there one morning and film it. Like AM.
Okay.
And just do the whole thing, like figure out what we want to film, and then just show up and film the whole thing and be over with it. I was listening a couple weeks ago back show, and you mentioned me. I work at Earmark Car Audio in Tint, Plano, Texas. Thank you, Johnny. So you should take a screenshot. Remember that, because everyone always asks in Texas, where do you go? And it's like Earmark. So we got a bunch of guys. We'll add that to the list. Thank you, Johnny. Bring me a card when you come. We should just take cards to the wall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, dude, you got to see the cards from Titan.
What?
Oh, they're sexy. I'm just stealing this card.
What?
Oh, because they're gorgeous. They did an awesome job on their cards.
Nice.
Have you guys ever done a video on the Big 3 upgrade? Not that I'm aware of. I can't.
We talk about it.
We've never done one specifically.
A dedicated video? No.
It's just never like been on my list of things to do.
Right. But if you go to the 5 minutes with 5-star,
well, the reason
we
why
just did one.
Yeah, we showed that what we did. That's not up yet. I don't think that one.
No, in 5 minutes with 5-star.
Yeah, but the edit, I never put it up. It would be on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
go to Instagram.
Well, that's just 5-star.
Yeah.
We just talked about one because we did one, but the actual video on YouTube of it hasn't been put up yet because I didn't do anything this week. Inverted subs or normal mounting? I like normal mounting. I mean, technically it's supposed to work either way, but I like normal mounting.
Yeah.
I've done it both ways for myself. Just say no to Scar, LOL. Okay.
How many radios do you play with the ZZ2 Air?
Ooh, that reminds me. Thank you, Bruce. All right, so one of the things I wanted to do on this trip, so we went to Tennessee.
Yeah.
So what I did is, you're gonna love this. I plugged the ZZ2 into the
van.
We rented a Chrysler Town and Country, no, Pacifica. Rented a Chrysler Pacifica minivan. It's basically the new Town and Country.
Yeah.
It was amazing, by the way. I loved it. I'm not trading the Mustang for one, but I thought about it for a minute. So much room. Anyways, I didn't. not even a second.
Oh, dude, that would be cool, man.
No, it wouldn't.
We can put the whole...
So anyways, right when we took off, I plugged the ZZ2 into it. Immediately paired up, did everything was neat to do. From my house to the shopping island there at Margaritaville, in Texas.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not in Texas, in Tennessee.
Like, wow.
Which was 10 and a half, 11 hours on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I ran my phone running the maps and music and connected wirelessly to the ZZ2. The whole trip.
10 hours.
10 and a half hours. Phone was fine, didn't die. Was still had a charge, still used it to take pictures when I got there. Pictures and video. The ZZ2 worked flawlessly. Played music, streamed everything. So the point of it was, a lot of people go, why do I want wireless? It's just going to kill my battery. I drove from Florida to Tennessee without it killing my battery, using it the whole time, streaming music, and we were streaming music. We weren't playing off of a playlist because they didn't like my playlist. So we were streaming music the whole time and using the navigation system, wirelessly talking to the ZZ2 for 10 and a half hours. Okay, so for all you goofballs out there like, I don't know, it's going to kill my battery. I drove to Tennessee from Florida and I still had battery left. You guys are on crack. And my phone is not a new phone. It's a year and a half old, so,
It's a year and a half old.
Yeah, it's a year and a half old.
Oh,
well, after a year, it just slows down.
Yeah, that's why.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on, everyone
yeah,
knows
totally.
that. Anyways, all right. So hold your question for just 1 second. That was my ruler test. So it worked flawlessly the whole time. This morning I got into my car, plugged it back in, paired it up, and we're good to go. So ZZ2 so far, all the
Is the way
mad
to
crazy
go.
testing I'm doing is phenomenal.
All right.
The only thing I haven't had a chance to do yet is if there's some kind of software update, because we haven't had an iPod software update yet. Joe's just bringing. Okay, what does he want? All right, I'll look at it.
Yeah.
We haven't done a software update yet, so I'm waiting to that'll be the next test, is to see. But regardless of that, if it does get low, just use a charger. Exactly, my point exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're 100%. But I really wanted to do the worst case scenario test possible, which was wirelessly streaming, doing everything you would normally do for as long. I thought it would die. Honestly, I thought by the time we got to Atlanta,
10 hours
the
is a
phone
lot.
would be dead.
Yeah.
But no, it made it the whole trip, and it was like, oh, this okay, cool. So
That's cool.
that was great. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. That's not the end of the show, although, you know, why not? Let's head over to who made the Clean Wire Club right here.
Yeah.
So what do we have here, Fernando? Who do we have?
The guy, I'm probably gonna say it wrong.
Go
like
ahead.
Always, Osan. That's his name. right
Osan
there.
works.
Yeah.
He's got some really nice stuff here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
It's definitely.
I mean, in the top of the picture, it has his name.
Yeah, right
and
there. At the
right
top.
there in the top. Yeah.
Yep,
So.
zip tied, nice loom over all the wires.
Yeah.
Those look like some hand-built RCA's.
Kind of, right?
Yeah, he did a nice job. I like the amplifier.
I was thinking for a moment that was like a heat shrink. They just put on top
Oh,
of
the
it.
yellow?
Yeah.
No, those look like they're the ends.
Right.
Yeah, I dig those.
I like it.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I love those really big ends like that, but I
Yes.
also hate those really big ends like that.
I mean,
Because it's
you
like,
don't have
oh
enough
man, you really
space.
don't have room.
Yeah,
So
of
it's
course.
like, you need both. You need like the 4000s, which have like the micro ends. Actually, I think that the 1X or the Stinger X2s have a skinnier end, but either way, I like. Yeah, that's nice. It turned out really nice. He did a good job.
Hey, Jamil, what's up, man?
My picture didn't make it to Facebook Live. Oh, you know what? That's right. I felt bad about that. His picture from last week. Can you pull that up?
Yes, of
Pull.
course.
So obviously we had somebody win last week. It didn't make it on the show. I'm gonna have Fernando pull it up so we can give a congratulations
I
to.
don't have it here.
You can't log into.
No,
All right, hold
I
on.
can't.
All right, hold on.
So
Stop.
you just go back. One more.
mhm.
It has to be in the
That was Ricardo's.
right there.
Is this one?
Yep.
All right, so last week we had Oscar won with his Helix, and of course I'm not saying that he was using that had any like bearing on the fact that he won, because he has the D-wire ruler right there. You know, I mean, it was nice. Thank you. He bought the nice shiny blue one.
Yeah. Dude, that was nice.
But no, that turned out really nice. There's actually a couple pictures here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a better picture of the ruler. Oh, we got the shallow depth of field. Look at that. The question would be, what are you focusing on? Would be my question. If we're trying to get the power and ground, then you crop the image wrong. So if you did and you were trying to get it and it just didn't turn out the way you wanted, no problem, Oscar. You could attend our class at Knowledge Fest in Dallas, where we're going to teach you how to properly do things like this. So you get that cool depth of field. See? Yeah. You're trying to get that helix there. Yeah, the heat gun looks really nice in the back, though. I'm going to rag on it. I'm sorry. I'm just picking on you. Oh, we got the ferrules. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, this isn't... Oscar's the man. Young Jedi coming up.
He is.
We all feel like Padawans around him, don't we, Jeff? We're old. We're just old. I feel like I'm walking like Yoda every now and then. Anyways, Oscar did a great job, as well as the one this week. So thank you very much. For those of you that are interested in how you get your picture up there, just do a badass wiring installation and put it up on the 12-volt Clean Wire Club.
Yeah.
And there you go.
And that would make
That's what happens. And if
Yeah, that's
Fernando
it.
likes it,
Oh,
you're the
wow.
one. The blue one is the best. I personally am a fan of the green one, but the two colors that ended up winning are the blue and the green. So if you look over here, we have like one orange left, and then blue and green. These aren't the ones we sell. The ones we sell are obviously two-piece. These are different ones that we do for something else. That's a whole nother story that we're not going to get into. But did you notice this? Did you notice the
yes,
Dean and Fernando's tool drawer
new look?
Got a little new look there.
Yeah.
And then if you came down here, you saw where the camera.
Yep.
So the plan is, I wanted to see if I could do this. So the plan is to change all of these
for
actual images of things. I mean, I need to redo the whole thing. And of course, I didn't forget to add the page that you guys are wanting, which is this guy right here. I know you guys want this up on there, and it will be. I didn't want to just put a page up there. Naturally, when you guys ask me to do something, I want to do it better than just a page. I want to make sure there's active links with pictures and logos and stuff like that, and there just wasn't enough time to get that up before we went on vacation. And then when we were on vacation, the only time I touched my laptop was when I needed to take the dash cam footage from the JVC dash cam that we used off of and put it in so that we could use it for making the boring life of Dean and Haley. So me too on the green. Yes, exactly right. Hey, evening from Canada. So anyways, that kind of gets us caught up there as far as that goes. Also, real quick, do you have, pull up yours? Yours looks better.
Mine looks better, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Nano's laptop. Here we go. For those of you that are interested in attending a paid-for education, so this is open to industry people only. I'm sorry, if you're in the industry and you want to spend some money to really up your game, if you aren't aware, Mobile Solutions has the new Master Tech Expo coming up next year in March. So you need to put a deposit down now to register to attend, I believe. But it's totally worth it. So if you're interested in going, head over to mobilesolutions-usa.com and you'll be able to find out more information about that.
Right.
So that is coming up. That should be fun. And for those of you that are just interested what that URL is, I will just put it here as you can find it. And of course, you can pick up your wire ruler from mobilesolutions-usa.com. So we'll be there. There you go. We might be there. I mean, we're supposed to be there. We'll see how it goes. Pack Ignition 3 is shutting down after startup, and engine is still running. Should be constant on. Correct. Yes, it should. It should stay constant on. So the way the Ignition 3 works is it's looking at your voltage output from your alternator. And if your alternator is shutting down, the Ignition 3 is also going to shut down because it's not seeing the voltage fluctuation. What you might want to add is there is the loop on it, and the loop will extend the amount of time that it stays on. So what might be happening is your alternator might be doing some weird stuff, and it's within the time frame that the Ignition 3 decides to turn off. So by cutting the loop, we'll extend the amount of time that the Ignition 3 stays on, meaning it doesn't look for voltage change. I would try that and see if that solves the problem for you. That's why that loop is there, to give you more time for when the cars start to do strange things. And because the idea behind the Ignition 3 was for stop-start vehicles, to extend out past that time frame when the car might be sitting at a stoplight and the alternator or the engine and all that stuff shuts off. So if your alternator is, to save energy, is turning off, then that would be causing that problem. So cut the loop.
Alright, I'm looking to add in a single amplifier into my 2021 Silverado. I'm planning to splice into the rear speaker wires for signal.
No.
What do I use for remove power wire? I'm keeping the stock head unit.
Okay, first off, don't tap into the rear speakers, guys, period. Don't tap into the rear speakers. The rear speakers are actively crossed over. On the GM, the best speaker to tap into is the passenger front door. That's the one you want. You want passenger front door. The front door is going to have a better frequency output, especially if you're adding subwoofers. Those rear doors are going to have a high-pass crossover on them, rolling them off higher than the front door. So grab that passenger front door, you're good. You could grab the drivers, it's fine. And the reason why we say passenger is that if you're going to like put some naturally high crossover point for some reason, you may hear the ding, and or if you do a lot of Bluetooth talking and you got somebody that does a lot when they talk, you might hear some of that popping. But you know, if you keep your crossover at somewhere like 80 hertz at 12 dB or 60 or 70, somewhere in that range, you'll be fine. You could also grab the driver's door. Either way, don't grab the rear doors. As far as what are you going to use to turn your amplifier on, It depends on the amplifier you're buying and or the integration piece you're using. Most amplifiers now have some form of DC offset built into them, also known as signal sense. What it's looking for is a 6-volt DC that comes over the speaker line. We've tested for this in multiple videos showing you guys how to do it, but for the refresher course, the easiest way to do that, did we do it? Yeah, you know what? We did a fundamentals on high level to low level. I don't know if it's up yet, but what you're looking for is you take your digital multimeter, put it to DC, go to your speaker positive, or what you think is your speaker positive, take your positive test lead, attach it to that. Take the negative test lead, attach it to a ground in the car, turn the car on, or the ignition on, it doesn't matter. If you see somewhere around 6 volts, DC, then you're good. That'll activate the DC offset built into the amplifier. Now, if your alternate amplifier that you're using doesn't have some form of DC offset or signal sense, then what you're going to want to do is pick up yourself one of these cool AudioControl LCQ1s. One of these, this guy right here.
Yeah.
The AudioControl LCQ1.
LC1i.
LC1i, thank you, Fernando. The LC1i. The LC1i is going to give you, for one, a much better high level to low level adapter than what's built in your amplifier, because I'm guessing if your amplifier doesn't have DC offset, the high level section on it is going to suck. Now, there again, if you have a good one, it should have some form of DC offset. Most amplifiers that are built nowadays come with that. That will give you the DC offset circuit built into it. It'll also give you load resistance, but you don't need it for that, and a line driver if you ever decide to change the radio. But there you go. Answer to that question.
All right.
Is there a difference between using an ARC1 on the LC2i Pro or a bass knob on my JL amp? No, there isn't any difference whatsoever, unless, this is where the difference might come in. I'm not familiar with the JL amplifiers, but some amplifiers, the volume knob for the subwoofer does more than just turn the volume up and down. I believe the JL amplifiers are straight up and down. But for example, the first amplifier that comes to my mind is like Pioneer. Pioneer is bass boost slash subwoofer volume all rolled into one knob. So if you don't install the bass knob that theirs comes with, then you don't get the benefit of that bass boost, which honestly is one of the best parts of the amplifier. Some people don't like bass boost. I totally understand, but it's a Pioneer. You kind of need that extra that it's going to give you. With that being said, with your amplifier, it's just a straight volume control, so whichever one you want to use is going to give you the same functionality.
Hey guys, I'm having trouble with an aftermarket LOC.
That an aftermarket installer
used to fix another installer's work. Help. Lots of distortion.
Lots of distortion. So LOCs are going to have some kind of gain control built into them. Try turning the gain down on the LOC. So if you're getting distortion, all right, let's back out of the question a little bit and figure out, like, what causes distortion?
Right.
Gain control.
Yeah.
Gain issues, right? Meaning you're giving it too much signal. Like, we just had a gentleman come in today. It's like, it's making this strange noise. We're like, tell me when it's doing it. When he didn't tell me he was doing it when the volume is cranked all the way up and the amplifier is taking a crap. So there's a limit to everything.
Yeah.
So on your factory radio, there's a limit. That's why a lot of the times when you read these things, they say 2/3 volume, right?
Yeah.
2/3 volume. So don't go past 2/3 volume on your factory radio, unless you have some form of like a DD1 or oscilloscope, and you can see where that distortion is happening. So 2/3 volume is it. So then from there, you kind of have to figure out, okay, where does my LOC meet up with that? Because remember, these aren't volume knobs, they're gain controls, which is basically input sensitivity. So if my volume is here and it's putting out X amount of voltage, I need to match up my LOC so that it is riding lined up perfectly with this. So let's say this puts out 7 volts. I need to set my input sensitivity to 7 volts. And then whatever the LOC output is, which you could test that with a test tone before you go in your amplifier. Check your output voltage there, AC, and see what it's doing. Let's say it puts out 2 volts. Let's say it's an inexpensive LOC. It puts out 2 volts. Well, then you're going to know that your amplifier, then the input sensitivity is going to be turned up a little bit to compensate for the little, you could look for the little 2 volt on the side or do some math or whatever. So all 3 of those have to line up to one another. As soon as he put the LOC in, I lost 50% power and got distortion more than volume. Okay, so what we've just described is the basic gain problem. Now, that's not the only problem you get with an LOC. Another problem you could run into is you've just hooked the thing up wrong. So if you get like a left positive and a right negative, and connect those together. So the first thing you do when you finish up with the system is check your balance and fader. Make sure it all works. If it doesn't, then you may have a problem there. So there's that. Okay, check to make sure everything is going where it needs to go. The third problem that you could run into on LOC is just the LOC sucks.
And that's probably what it is, because it's a cheap LOC. So
there's different types of LOCs. All right, you have transformer based, you have resistor based, and you have electronics based. Okay, so the most popular right now is transformer based high level to low level adapters, so like the PAC LP72, LP52, or LP32.
LP72.
Those are all transformer based. The advantage of a transformer based high level to low level adapter is the fact that they don't intermix with each other, so you can actually use them to do summing. So like if you had a front tweeter and a front mid, you could hook up two of them or a 4-channel version and put RCAs in the out and Y them together, which is like a big no-no. It's like, oh, don't cross the streams. You can do that with a transformer base because the signal doesn't pass back through, so you're not going to cause any clipping distortion or short circuit, which is key. A resistor base is funny because the resistor base is basically load generators like these right here, the AGM. These are resistors. So we're using these now to fool the amplifiers to stay on. Well, high level to low level adapters used to be resistor based. You just put a big resistor in there and it would choke that signal down. Those suck the worst. That's why we switched to transformer based. Now when you look at like the AudioControl LC2i, the LC1i, all their stuff, and most amplifiers, they use electronic high level to low level adapters, meaning they're doing it with circuitry. There's an op amp in there, and there's all kinds of fun little stuff, magical fairies that take that and they choke it down. Okay, so that's why like when you use one of these, you have to hook up power and ground and remote turn on, because they're actually doing something. That's why they're not this big and cost $19. So that's all we got for high level to low level. Hopefully one of those is your problem and you're good.
Yeah. All right.
Hi, Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Anything on the market right now for the stereo upgrade at 2021 F-150? Yeah. Okay, if it's the previous dash, yes. If it's the new dash, no.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up, Bob? Bobby.
All right. I find something. The CC2 works for CarPlay only? No.
They do make a version of it for Android Auto.
For Android Auto too. So I definitely go to the website and talk to these guys, because
you can on their website they have a link that you can click onto to talk to them. Now they're not internet based, so you'll have to buy them from an authorized dealer, which is fine. They'll help you find one by you. So but they're real easy to talk to. They're real easy to get a hold of. They got a lot of neat stuff. The piece that we have is the most basic thing they make, but all I wanted was wireless CarPlay. What I'll probably test next is they have another one that allows you to like stream from your phone, like YouTube and Facebook and Netflix and all that crap. Yeah, it's that's what Jeff and I went over to talk to him about, because he wants to put that in his Tahoe.
Okay.
But that'll be the next thing we kind of toy with. But I haven't had time to do anything.
All right.
So, anyways, and the next episode of this show is going to be brought to you by AudioControl. Make sure you head over to audiocontrol.com for all those cool things that we've talked about so far in the show. So your high level to low level needs, check out AudioControl, amongst other things that they have. One of the cool new high level to low level features they are going to be having that we're not supposed to talk about, but we're doing it anyways because we have a video hopefully you guys will get to see later this week, which is the new Epicenter Mini. The Epicenter Mini is going to be an LC2i with the Accubase taken out and an Epicenter put in. It's awesome.
That looks freaking cool.
I can't wait for you guys to see this. It's going to have a dual volume knob. It's the same size as an LC2i Pro. It's so cool.
Yeah,
but you guys will see that later this week,
Yeah.
because we'll get a chance to get that video edited and get it up to you. But head over to audiocontrol.com. Thank you for your support. Moving on.
All right. This is okay.
You should just log in to your Facebook account.
What do you recommend if I don't have an alternator, but instead I have a generator?
Oh yeah.
Like my Jeep 2020 Wrangler JL 2.0 turbo with the torque. Has a regular battery and a 48 volt lithium with the DC to DC converter under the Jeep.
Under the hood.
It's installing limitless 12K lithium in the trunk be enough, especially with the 7 amplifiers. Wow.
Oh, yeah, this is going crazy. I mean, yeah, it's a tough one, man.
I mean, so it's like 7 amplifiers.
I really don't have an answer for this question. It's kind of out of what we normally do. I wish I had, like, yeah, do that. I don't.
Right.
I don't. Although when I was at Titan, he showed me this cool product that is for charging multiple batteries.
Then yes, we going to SEMA and we are going to Vegas.
Well, that SEMA is in Vegas, yes.
Well,
so
Notch in Vegas.
I can't throw this up on the screen, but
well, you can.
I don't have that hooked up.
No.
All right, hang on. I know what to do.
I have a cable.
Hold on. Let me just do this. Hang on. I'm gonna send you someplace that might have the answer you're looking for. Might. I use that word might. All right, hang on. So this was a new product. I haven't had a chance to deal with it yet, but this was introduced to me this past week. A friend of mine that works at Titan. This is what they use when they want to do multi-battery. So it's
which one? That one, the red one?
Yeah, the red. No, the red one with the thumb. So it's this. So this company here, Earmark, powered by Earmark. Yeah.
Okay.
DC to DC battery charger. So this is a 50 amp battery charger. This is basically like an old Orion MBR70. It seems like.
Okay.
So it's that right there. This one, this top one. Yeah. So if we go to Fernando, so head over to Earmark, and hold on, I'm working on it.
So this is the website.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't know anything about this product yet, but this might be what you're looking to do. Hey, look, a Jeep.
It's a Jeep.
Either way,
yeah.
To me, this seems like the product that you're going to be interested in that might help you, or at least they might be able to answer those questions for you.
Or maybe you can talk to these guys and
yeah,
maybe.
So take a screenshot right now, of course, and you'll be all set.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we got. Is there an auto audio place in the New York area that does your build quality and attention to detail you could recommend?
Is there an audio place?
No, yeah. I mean, basically, they're looking for somebody in New York.
All right. So in New York, the only right now it comes in place that would be Nick
Apicilla's.
Nick Apicella.
It's like
Auto Sounds.
Yeah.
Apicella Auto Sounds.
All right.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is head over to Instagram, and there's a guy on Instagram, 12 volt marketing group.
Yes.
So go to Instagram, type in 12 volt marketing group, a version of that.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Frankie. He is the rep for a bunch of products that we handle in New York. Okay. So if you friend him on Instagram and send him a message
just
saying,
follow
hey,
him. Yeah.
That would be the guy you'd want to ask, because it's his territory, those are his people, and he might have somebody that can help you. So
yeah,
12 volt marketing group.
Yep.
On Instagram.
I was about to say 12 volt clean workout.
No, it's 12 volt marketing group. Are my questions showing up? Mike, I don't know.
Question.
Right, it's this big one right here. 2008 Dodge Ram 2500, Sony radio, Phoenix Gold 1200, WaveTech bass restore, Hertz Milli 6x9s, front 6.5, rear Audison APS. This is fun. APS subs, box.
Woofer in the box on there.
If I were to add a DSP in the future, what would you recommend with the WaveTech worth the money?
And is the WaveTech worth the money? My install is scheduled for August. Just want to make sure they are not selling me stuff to sell it. Thank you for your help.
Okay, so looking at all the equipment.
2008.
All right, so the bass restore is Wavetek's version of an epicenter. So if you're if you like 80s rock music,
there you go.
You're gonna love it. 80s, 90s rock music, or good. Just dry music in general. Yeah, go for it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna, especially with that crap going underneath the seat. Audison AP 10s 4S. Is it woofer and box under rear seat? If it's just the one woofer, I don't think that's enough. Like I think you'd want two. I really don't think one woofer is enough for that truck. I would do 2 10s.
Right.
If that's just me.
But I mean, just
or more,
thing.
Unless you got 4 there. Unless as far as okay, so this is all right. So we got a radio, so we're golden there.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
fine.
here's the thing. All right, let's break this out, as we often say. We got a new radio going in a car.
Yeah.
We got a set of 6x9s going in the front door, a set of 6.5s going in the rear door. We're going with some Hertz. We're not going with components up front. We're just going with the 6x9 Pros.
Yeah.
So we know how those sound. Those are loud. They're okay. And we got some subs. We got an amp. We got a bass restore. So like, it's a weird system. I'm not gonna lie. This is just kind of a weird system because we're going with Pro 6x9s and 110. So I'm guessing you like a lot of highs. That would be my guess. And I'm not designing the system,
right.
So I don't know. The GX amp is a good amp. Everything you have is good stuff. The question is, do I need a DSP? That's where the fun part comes in. Because every system, technically, you want a DSP. But at what level is the DSP absolutely necessary? So we're going with 6x9s that are 2 ways down low in the door. We're going with a set of coaxial 6 off the back, 6-channel amp. Real simple system. The radio itself is going to have a 13-band EQ, which might be enough. It's going to have basic time alignment. 3 minutes for me, many thanks. You bet, man. No problem. So, so we're building a nice little system that the radio might be enough to really
what you're trying to do
to make everything sound great. But then again, you go, all right, well, why don't I just do the DSP from the get-go? That's a tough question. For me, I like DSPs built in the amplifiers, so I would maybe lean towards getting something like a 61200 from AudioControl, like the D, that has all this stuff, or the D51300 for that matter, that has the DSP built into it, because then you're all set and ready to go. But there again, for that system, I don't know if a DSP is going to...
Because like this is
I don't know how much
6x9s is the big 6x9.
Yeah,
right?
It's just a big loud 6x9.
Just the big loud 6x9.
Like if we're just going for something loud and fun,
correct.
I think the radio. I think what you're doing might be the ticket. It might be enough. Like immediately I see that, I'm not thinking I need a DSP. I'm just thinking the I didn't sell the system. So one of the problems with answering these questions is I like to talk to people. I like to figure out what people want. I like to figure out what their goals, their dreams, their desires, and stuff like that. And then I build a system around it. Sometimes you've seen us just build loud systems that don't have DSPs and immediately put, well, you put a DSP, because that wasn't what the guy needed to get to where he was trying to go.
So I think he already has an appointment and everything. For what you have right now, everything is fine.
Yeah,
the system is fine.
It's going to be loud.
In the future, if you have that...
If you're bored?
Exactly, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to try the DSP. You can try it with no problem, and then you can decide.
Well, see, Vin, passing on the Pro style speakers, no. Because there again, if that's the sound you like, then you totally go with those. You know, there's nothing wrong with that Pro speaker. And honestly, that Pro speaker, when that Pro speaker is not as crazy as what you're thinking when I say Pro speaker. That 6.9 is loud, but it's basically the Hertz high energy. Rebranded into the Pro line. Yeah. So it's actually a pretty tame speaker by the Pro definition. It's a really nice sounding 6x9. It uses silk soft dome tweeters. It doesn't have whizzer cones. It doesn't. It's actually a really nice sounding speaker.
It is a really nice sounding speaker. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. With that particular system, I think you're going to be fine with it. Yeah. That's one of those weird 6x9s that they just put into the Pro line because they didn't have any place else to put it.
Yeah,
And
and
like,
we're not talking about the SPL shows like the other ones that they have. So this is.
well, it's in the line, but,
Well,
it's not like that tweaker.
These ones still have that mid bass that you need.
Well, it's not like it's 104 dBs of efficiency either. Okay.
Right.
All right. Sorry, guys. These things are just getting really exciting. I have a 2018 Sierra 5.3. It has that big pre-fused distribution block on top of the battery with the positive terminal and a small terminal nut. You guys connect to that, or one of the open studs. Say 400 amps. I'm running a JL. Okay, so I would go to the battery. So on the Sierra, it has a stupid little T-nut on, especially if you're running that much fusing. There's a T-nut on that battery. Okay, that holds that whole big monstrosity in. All right, that it's a T on the bottom. It has these two little things that look like this. Nut comes out the center, and if you look at the top of the nut, you'll see where there's a little like rectangle, and that's where they took the thing, went boom, and made it so that the nut doesn't fall off. What we typically do is you can either buy a new T-nut on Amazon for like $5 that doesn't have that stupid clip on it. You can cut that one off when you strip it and put the new one on and connect there. Or if you have a grinder, just take the grinder and go around the top of the screw a little bit like this. And basically what you need to do is you need to get rid of that flanged edge that's there when they hammer it. The nut will come right off, put your connection on there, and go down from there. Going up to where the fuse, that because it's a little piece of like 4 gauge that goes up to that, I don't really, if you're putting a 400 amp fuse in there, you really need to attach the 0 gauge to the battery.
Alright, I have a 2018 Sierra 4.3. It has the big...
I just read that.
Okay.
Okay, you're good. I have not noticed an issue yet, but 2012 Raptor, do I need load resistors on the factory amp if I'm not using the... only using factory amp to power the rear door speakers?
If I'm not using the old channels.
Yeah, I would really recommend putting a load resistor, just the blue LGDs, onto the front channels that you are using.
Yeah.
What happens is it's not that it doesn't work, and if you have good tweeters, you probably won't notice the problem. But yes, it is creating frequencies that you're not going to see and or hear that could be causing issues with the tweeters getting hot unnaturally. So by just throwing a set of LGDs in there, it will put the small amount of load that that amplifier needs in order to prevent it from doing really bad stuff. So, yeah. But it's 2010 Rap 12, man. I would change out the radio.
How can you recommend tuning a monoblock?
What am I tuning? You mean setting the gain? There's
yeah,
nothing
pretty
to
much.
tune.
That would be just setting the gains.
Oh yeah, I saw your video on Cheap First Good LLCs. The old one where I'm like dressed with the rubber gloves and the hazmat suit kind of thing, that one was hilarious.
Yeah.
Good times. Okay. Moving on.
Alright.
Alright, I have trouble finding the right amp bypass harness for an 07 Civic LX sedan. Suggestions. Thinking to install a JVC 5-channel amp and add subwoofer. Currently, I have a blown RR factory right rear speaker, or the factory amp channel is blown or wiring failure. I mean, it's an 07 Civic. I gotta be honest with you, I'm thinking about replacing the radio in that. But if I do need to keep the radio, yeah, I could see where you're having a hard time. Alright, if there's a factory... Finding the right amp bypass harness. Yeah, there really isn't one, and that's the problem. There isn't one. It's just where you're at. There isn't a bypass for that amplifier. I got nothing. That's one of those that you just have to cut the harness on. You know, we go up about 4 inches and we cut it and we solder in and do what we need to do and make it repairable.
I mean, but you make a T-harness.
You know, it's just
you make your own.
Yeah, but they don't have the one for the amplifier bypass.
No.
But you can go behind the radio. If it's an 07, you can go behind the radio, and if you want the one for behind the radio, you can get a, because if it's an 07, you can go before the amplifier. but then you still have the speaker wires to deal with, so you might as well just do it all at the amplifier.
Yeah. So check Metra and see if you.
But I don't think they're gonna have anything for
No.
that. Sorry. Okay, how was vacation time? Vacation time was awesome.
Good,
So we're about 40 minutes in, so I know there's a ton of questions here to answer, and we'll try to get to as many as we can, as you know. However, we want to make, obviously, things a little better. Normally, we've been doing the new fundamentals section. You guys have really taken into the fundamentals. You guys are really enjoying that, it seems like. But what we want to know is some of the questions. So the idea behind, we need more ideas, is basically what we're getting. We're on like 25 of them. And there's like 50 we have to do a year. So we're trying to come up with as many suggestions as possible for it. Keep in mind, it has to be something that can be answered in 3 or 4 slides. So the idea is that, as you've picked up on, is to make it a simple thing, meaning one word definitions and explaining that one word. So if you guys have any things that you'd like to see us do in the fundamental sections, by all means, please type them into the comments here, and that way we can add them to the list of things we want to do, because naturally we want to answer the questions that you guys want us to answer, not just, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking replacing the radio on my 15-year-old car and not mess with it. Yes, do that. For sure. How would you recommend tuning a Kicker C401, powering 2 Kicker C10s wired at 1 ohm? Okay.
That's a
without a DD1. Boxes under the seat of the
GMC Sierra.
I would use the voltage method.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice.
so the voltage message, which we have a video on the Lumi.
Yeah.
Just like Kip, if you watch the show Kip just did the other day with Hi-Fi Vega on it, they set the amplifier using a oscilloscope, but you can also do it with math. So you can figure out what the output voltage is supposed to be. All right, and then you can play your test tone. So like if you want to go to negative 10 dBs at 40 hertz, you can download a negative 10 dB 40 hertz track from their website. And I believe they even have this whole method of how to do this in their Kicker school that they have. And so Kicker has a, hold on, tech page.
Yeah, it does.
Tech, where's it at? Software, tech papers. So if you go to Kicker's website and you go to tech papers, so if you just type it in and you go over to the support tab, there's a whole thing on tech papers, and one of these is going to show you how to do the math to figure out voltage. Maybe that's one we should do, is do the one on math. Maybe we'll do that for next week, show you the math, the formula and Ohm's law to figure out what. So you're going to play your 40 hertz test tone, whatever your output voltage needs to be for 400 watts, put your digital multimeter on it, turn the gain to that specific point when it reaches that number, and you're done. Actually, I know they do, because they actually have just a sheet all set and ready to go. I forgot about that. Alright, so this is a sheet that is going to be up on Kicker's website, and if you have a 1 ohm impedance at 400 watts, you're going to set, it's 20 volts, okay? So that's it. So what you're going to do is play your 40 hertz test tone at 1 ohm. You're going to get 40 volts. Or you're going to set it to 20 volts. And that's it. And you're done. And that's all that amplifier is going to give you. Okay. Is it going to distort? Is it going to make funny noises? It possibly could. But you'll never know.
You will never know.
Okay.
What size of fuse to use on a sky-high OFC 4-gauge wire?
Well, okay. So I'll do that again.
Perfect.
Alright, so this is a basic wire length chart. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to come over here and you're going to look at how many amps you have. And then you're going to look at how long the power wire needs to be. So 16 to 19 feet is pretty popular. So if you have a 4-gauge power wire, the longest it can be, or the biggest it can power, is 125 amps. If it's shorter than that, doesn't really matter. You can still 125 amps. But so it looks like between 13 and 19 feet is 125 amps. If you're going to go more than that, then you need to get a bigger power wire. But this is a basic power wire calculator that they also have on the Kicker website. I think they even have the same one.
Yeah.
Their tech guy that was on last Tuesday had a funny name, Peter Johnson. That is a good one. Ohm's law would be a good addition to the fundamentals. Yeah, I think we'd have to break it down into a couple different sections.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think next week that's a good one. We can do power.
Okay.
The formula for doing power, and we can have a couple examples, and then basically walk you through how to do it. All right, that's a good
Are you
one.
ready?
Yes.
All right. So changing the radio is in the plans.
Is in the plans?
It's in the plan. Okay. I'm thinking not right now. Moving 2 states away first, but I want to retain both my front camera and rear camera. I probably be hitting you guys for the install when the time comes. But currently I'm using the PAG Ampro digital out to the DMA10. Just unplug the front speakers to the factory amplifier and didn't know if you need a low resistors from AudioControl to protect the amplifier as I'm using from the factory amp are the rear channels, no center. Fronts and subs and the factory amp. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so when you on a Ford, when you buy the Amp Pro, it doesn't come with any load resistors. When you buy the T-harness, so that you can integrate at the factory amplifier, it has a load resistor harness built into it. Yes, the reason why they put the load resistors in the factory amplifier is to retain the chimes. So if you're going you're fine. So if you're using an Amp Pro, you're good. The only reason you'd use the load resistors in that scenario was to just get the chimes to come out of the speakers instead of out of the dash. So in that scenario, you're good. You don't need anything.
Alright, Helix DSP left and right inputs I have in EQ about flat. When I blend 50-50, I have a dip in the higher frequency around -3 dB.
Well, it's a -3 dB dip.
Yeah. What could it cause, and do I need to fix the factory radio? High levels is a Subaru Outback 2018.
So why are we doing a 50-50 merge between left and right? What you're seeing, the 50 around.
Well, in the input you have to put 50 left, 50 right.
No, you don't.
I mean, you can do 100, 100,
right.
yes.
Why do you do a 50-50 mix? It's a left and right. There's no. Why would you want to do a 50-50 mix between left and right? You want to do 100 left for left and 100 right for right. It's a left and right. I'm not summing my left and rights together. That's not going to happen. But what you're seeing is the all-pass filter in the Subaru. So there's an all-pass filter in the Subaru, and when you bring 50 from left and 50 to right and bring them together, that's you're going to see that dip that it goes down because you have cancellation at that frequency. Do you need to fix it? Yeah, don't sum the two together would be my first answer to that. But aside from that, no, you don't have to worry about it unless you're trying to do time alignment. And if you're trying to do time alignment, then yeah, you have to get rid of it. Otherwise, the time alignment isn't going to function properly. Or you have to only time align the speakers outside of the all-pass filter. It gets really confusing. So for me to answer that in like 2 seconds, not going to happen. Apicil said to try to mix 50-50 to check for all-pass. That's exactly what you do to check for all-pass. There are easier ways to do it, but yeah, that would be how you check for an all-pass. And you have an all-pass. It's a Subaru. Subaru's always... Toyota, Subaru, they're all the same. New Nissans, they all have all-pass filters. They're not the end of the world. All they do is... Okay, so an all-pass filter is basically there as a cheap way of adding some form of alignment. I won't say time alignment. Alignment to the speakers. So it's doing a phase, not even a phase. Doing it's flipping a frequency, okay, and 180 degrees. And so what that does is that pulls the image over because that cancellation that's created causes the sound to move to the center of the dash. So it's already kind of doing the work for you. If you're going active, having all-pass filters is kind of easy to work with because the speakers that fall outside of the all-pass filter, you just leave them alone. So for example, the Subaru STI we put in a Audison Forza in. The mid bass is where the all-pass filter was. We left it alone. We didn't. It was crossed over out of the highs. It was only in that frequency. So we let them do their own thing, and it played well, and it did its. The only thing we time aligned was the tweeters. So we got those into play, and it worked great, and it sounded wonderful. But yeah, all-pass filters can be a pain, or they could just do your job for you. It's entirely up to you. But yes, the car has one. You don't need to check for it. Now, if you want to get rid of it, you have to figure out what frequency is at, and then you have to do an opposite all-pass filter. You have to apply that same all-pass filter to the other side. So let's say the all-pass filter is at 320. You have to put an all-pass filter at 320 on the other side, and those two will, because they're 180, will come back and align with everything else. Oh, it gets so much fun, guys.
See, I'm trying to use the all-pass filter EQ on the Helix, exactly. But stomp on the fixing. I will see if the MSC can help. However, I haven't found a good resource to fix it.
You're not going to find a good resource to fix all-pass filters because it's just a pain in the ass. It'd be nice if someone made a tool that could tell you exactly where the all-pass filter is.
That would be fucking awesome.
Oh, wow.
I'm
dropping
sorry.
the F-bomb.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay. Dang, Fernando. Huh. Sorry, guys. Kids. My bad. Earmuffs. Yep, and there goes the whole thing. Did my question get answered? My Facebook crashed. It may have. I don't know. Hey, all-pass filter fundamentals in under 3 slides, right? Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's a family show, Fernando. Come on.
Man.
Yes.
I got fired.
Yeah. So basically the idea behind it is just to help you out is once you find the frequency where the dip is, it's going to be on the passenger side is where the all-pass filter is going to be. You just apply that same frequency to the driver's side, and that will negate the all-pass filter, and at that point you can add in your time alignment and go to town.
Yeah.
How would you hook up Pioneer 4000 in-dash epicenter to JL DSP in rear and what frequency? Alright, so regardless of what equipment you have, here is the daisy chain, which we do have a video that explains this whole thing. If you just go to our YouTube channel and search for epicenter, we drew a nice diagram, the whole 9 yards. Okay, radio, DSP, crossover for the subwoofer off, or as high as it can possibly be. Needs to be above 160 hertz, all right, or 160 as a minimum. So it's a JL DSP, so you can set the crossover to anything you want. Crossover off or extremely high. Boom, out of the DSP into the epicenter. Out of the epicenter into the amplifier. Turn on the crossover in the amplifier. Done. That's it. That's all you got to do. Remember, it's an octave shift. So the reason why they ask for 160 hertz is so that if you need to recreate 80 hertz, 160 is there to do it, because we did a whole show on what octave means. So if you cross it over at 80 hertz, all 40 is all you're going to be able to create. So we don't want that. Might want to recreate 50. To recreate 50, we need 100. So if we want to create 60, we need 120. So that's why we need to go all the way up to at least 160. So if you follow that train, you'll be fine.
I didn't know.
I know. I didn't know Dean knew sign language. I don't. Don't worry, Nando. The F-bomb is the duct tape world of English. Yeah. No, it is pretty bad. Is the fundamentals of components versus coaxials, tuning, frequency. Hold on. All right, I'll have to look at that one tonight.
What is the fundamental components? Okay.
Quality,
oh, space.
God, we didn't hit record.
Ah.
Oh, man. All right, well, this show won't be up tomorrow. Oh, that sucks. Welcome your first day back, guys. My problem is that the in-dash epicenter, so how do I daisy? You're going to have to loop everything back forward?
Back
to the back.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which one
back.
you have. It's still, you're going to have to come out and go all the way back forward into it and all the way to the back. It's just, that's the joy of having the one in the dash. So you got to run a lot of RCAs. It's all good.
Yeah. It doesn't have the wireless thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah. So it kind of sucks. Demonetized. Well, at this point, it's not going to matter because I didn't even record the show. So it probably won't even be on YouTube tomorrow for that because I don't know how much effort I want to put into this tonight.
That was Dollywood.
So Dollywood was really nice. If you like roller coasters, Dollywood is the bomb, man, because they got a lot of roller coasters.
Yeah.
They had some really. We went on like 1.5 because the one we went on was kind of like a half roller coaster. It was really weird. It's like a really bad Pirates of the Caribbean, but without the water in the boat. It was really weird. It had like 3 drops in it, so you're just cruising along, watching these really bad dioramas, and then you just go ah, and you're like, oh, what the heck? And you do that like twice. And then this other roller coaster we went on. I'm not a big fan of roller coasters. This other one we went on, it didn't go upside down, which is fine because I just didn't want to go upside down because I had to drive. So it just did a lot of this, which I'm cool with. And that was like some fireman one. It was really weird. So that was kind of neat. But Dollywood was cool. The biggest problem we had with Dollywood was that none of the restaurants were open because they can't get employees.
That's crazy.
So,
you know,
like,
how
no
many places you find everywhere that they need people.
Would you use bass boost on an amp, and what frequency for 210s? Yeah, I love bass boost. I'm always using bass boost. There's not a moment I don't use bass boost. But still, I'm gonna start at 80 hertz and figure out where I need to go from there. 80 hertz is the go-to number, guys.
Yep.
You always start at 80, and if you're getting too much high frequency out of it, try 70. You can go down. Very rarely will you go up. But yeah, I do like. Yes, I did bring him something from Coca-Cola.
Dude, that was the best.
Why don't you grab it real quick
in the paper?
So I don't have to hear Myrtle Beach of the Mountains, which is also. Oh, there you go. So we got him the. Yep, that.
Dude,
refreshing. That's what it says. I don't know.
This is cool, man.
So, no, vacation was fun, and we're not happy to be back. Let's just leave it at that. Whoever wants to come back from that. Anyways, let's wrap this up here, guys, because I know you guys want to get home. We'll go through a quick little maintenance here. Laptop. D&F Fernando's tool drawer is a place you can go and find. Oh, hold on, let me shut this off. See, this is the back end control, guys. D&F tool drawer is a place you can go and find all the cool tools that we use. It will be getting updated here shortly. If you want to get t-shirts and stuff like that, dnfswag.com is a place to go for that. So you can scroll down and pick up all the cool 5-star swag that we have. Real popular one is I Know Jeff Smith. He really likes that one. And of course, the most popular one is the flags here. And then the newest ones are the ones here on the bottom. But anyways, that's that. Also, if you are interested in attending the Mobile Solutions Master Tech Expo and you professionals, head over to mobilesolutions-usa.com and you can find information about that March 6th through the 9th. It is not free. You do have to pay for it, and it is expected to be insane. If you want to know more about that, of course, I believe him and Mark from Cardio Fabricator did a whole hour-long show on it.
Yep.
Talked about how exciting it is going to be. You can probably find that over on Mark's page at Cardio Fabricator. There might also be a link to it in the description here, but definitely check it out. Also, don't forget, Dallas is coming up. So for those of you that aren't industry people, we will be in Dallas at the end of August. So that ought to be fun. That is going to be Knowledge Fest Dallas. Ooh, we're going to be teaching a camera class. So we're done with telling people that they need to make videos. Now we're going to show them the tools to use. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
We get to talk about cameras and lenses and lights and microphones and all that cool stuff that we use daily to bring this cool content to you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for playing along. If you'd like to follow us day by day and see what's happening in the install bay, make sure you head over to Instagram. where you can catch the show we do there called 5 Minutes with 5 Star.
Yeah.
And if you miss a day, no big deal. You can head over to YouTube on Mondays. Today, we do the Instagram 5 Minutes with 5 Star recap show. We take all those cool shows, compile them into one long video that you can sit and listen to like a podcast. It's pretty cool because we just do a lot of talking. There's not a lot of visual. So if you guys are into podcast and you like YouTube, that makes for a great thing. I know we should probably turn it into a podcast, but come on, guys. We only have so much time. And with that, as Jeff says, see ya.
See you guys.
Fade to black.